You are not small. You are not unworthy. You are not insignificant. The universe wove you from a constellation, just so Adam, every fiber in you, comes from a different star. Together, you are bound by stardust, altogether spectacularly created by the energy of the universe itself. And that, my darling, is the poetry of physics, the poetry of you. Nikita Gill. When we enter this life, we are pure. The day we take our first breath, the world opens up for us, honoring the new life and all of the beauty that can be spread by one soul traveling through a small piece of history. No child is born with baggage. As we grow up, issues are gained, but we can release them. Let go of what harms us and embrace what fills our spirit in such a way that we grow into the very best version of ourselves. The trick is learning to release what does not nurture our growth. The people who raise us, the people who shape our lives from a young age, can sometimes be overwhelmingly toxic. This morning, I would like to share my journey of letting go of and removing some of the more toxic people in my life. Realizing fully that there are some people in our lives who are toxic that are nearly impossible to actually let go of completely. But take heart. Although not all toxic individuals can be fully eliminated from your life, altering your perception and therefore your reactions can be empowering, ultimately leading you on a path to who you really are meant to be in this life, this beautiful life we all share. More often than not, those who are toxic have experienced trauma themselves. And although when you come from a place of love, you inevitably feel compassion for others in pain, a balance must be found for you to be the absolute best version of yourself. That balance is one of the things that ensures that you love yourself. Toxic people are capable of change if they are honest with themselves. However, and this statement is very important, it is absolutely not your job to fix them. Being supportive is a very different matter. If someone's behavior is toxic and they make an active choice to alter that unhealthy behavior, compassion can lead to a lovely and healthy way to add beauty to the world. For years, I found myself offering support so much so that it was at the expense of my own well being. In time, I discovered one sentence that could change the course of my emotional, psychological, and spiritual growth. And although it is a method of behavioral modification that seems short and sweet, I fully realize that learning to do this is very, very difficult. However, the sentence is one word: no. The word no is in and of itself a complete sentence. I live from a place of love. My desire is to go above and beyond for all of the amazing people in my life. If I am able to help, I do so. But as previously stated, I often did so at the expense of my own well being. Repetition changed this altogether. So I say it again: no is a complete sentence. And it is absolutely always and forever okay to say no if the task, the invite, experience, etc., if it is something that will harm your self-worth, your well-being. And to be clear, if you do not want to go to that party because you are exhausted and have had a rough week, then it is okay also to say no. What someone wants is not more important than what you need. You love yourself when you say no to a person asking you to go beyond your comfort zone. If you want to stay home on Friday night, then stay home. It is absolutely okay to do so. Setting that boundary by saying no is a very, very important form of self love. For me, personally, this path is best described by poet S.R.W. when they wrote the following: self love is a revolution that every atom in your body is marching for. Still, as I said before, this alteration of perception and behavior is no easy task, especially if your life has brimmed with difficulty provided by family or friends with toxic traits. I thought I would spend a bit of time this morning covering some of the traits that we have to unlearn due to a toxic upbringing. According to Psych Central, 61% of people report having what is called an adverse childhood experience while growing up, with women and people of color at a higher risk of experience more than 4 adverse childhood experiences. An adverse childhood experience is defined as a potentially traumatic event, such as emotional, physical, or sexual abuse, experienced in the first 18 years of life. There is a study that confirms that such experiences are related to post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and complex trauma, long-term effects of experiencing traumatic events. When a child's brain experiences toxic stress, it releases a hormone that shrinks the hippocampus. It has also been found that due to such experiences, those with complex trauma have less gray matter in their prefrontal cortex, which can explain why many individuals with such experiences from their youth may have difficulty regulating emotion. For each beautiful soul here who have had such experiences, or are still experiencing the difficulty that is inevitably connected to people in your life with toxic traits, I would like to take a moment to share a small poem by Ruby Kaur. The universe took its time on you, crafted you to offer the world something different from everyone else. When you doubt how you were created, you doubt an energy greater than us both. We are in no way unworthy of the right to be treated with love, understanding, and compassion. We are made of star stuff, and as such are worthy of positive support and love. Moreover, when another who has experienced trauma behaves in such a way that harms others, it is completely okay to place a boundary that will remove such toxicity from your life. I have PTSD. I have been through hell, more than some and less than others. I have needed to reach out for support on numerous occasions, but, and I want to be completely clear here, it would have been okay for each and every one of those occasions, on each and every one of those occasions, completely okay for the person I reached out to say that they could not help. Some, in fact, did so, and I absolutely love them for that, because my need for help is in no way ever more important than their need to not provide help at that moment, or in fact, ever. It is absolutely okay to say no. That boundary is paramount to loving yourself, and we have all been there. When a friend, coworker, or family member reaches out and we just do not have the energy to help that day. If you do not love yourself, then you will find yourself regularly drained by toxic individuals. And when I say that, I mean take care of yourself. You cannot help others if you do not help yourself, if you do not take care of yourself. For specificity's sake, therapistaid.com defines personal boundaries as follows: the limits and rules we set for ourselves within relationships. A person with healthy boundaries can say no to others when they want to, but they are also comfortable opening themselves up to intimacy and close relationships. Psych Central categorizes 7 different types of boundaries, which are as follows: emotional boundaries, protecting our own emotional well being; physical boundaries, protecting our physical space; sexual boundaries, protecting our needs to feel safe sexually; workplace boundaries, protecting our ability to do our work without interference or drama; material boundaries, protecting our personal belongings; and boundaries with our time, protecting the use and misuse of our time. They go on to say, it often takes courage and strength to set boundaries, but when you do so, you can feel comfortable knowing your lines have been set, your needs have been communicated, and if someone else chooses to violate your boundaries after that, you would be within your rights to create further distance between yourself and that person. Mind you, there is a plethora of information on the steps of gaining self love, but in every single one of these series of steps, no matter who the author is, that I researched, I found boundaries to be a consistent and necessary thing to begin gravitating towards self love, the self love that we are, each and every one of us, so very worthy of. Thus far, personally, I have found that when I limit interactions with people who are toxic, or toxic for me specifically, growth occurs. I believe that is because when toxicity falls away, you begin to become who you really are. And here, my amazing, amazing Mosaic and brothers and sisters, is how we cast the light and begin to sit within the embrace of self love. I'd like to leave you today with one more beautifully written piece of poetry. Treat yourself as an honored guest in your own home. Sweep the floors, whisking loose hairs and crumbs into the dustpan, clearing cobwebs as if you were about to arrive here for the very first time. Stoke the fire in the wood stove, stacking logs of birch and maple, whose bark curls into flames that warm up the whole house as you step inside your body, learning to love its shape like never before, offering yourself that wedge of brie you've been keeping in the back of the fridge. Pop open whatever bottle or soda you've been saving for the moment you finally become your own dream date, your own special occasion. Now sit at the table set for one and feast on a simple meal of bread and cheese, relishing each taste of this new life, which has always been waiting inside of you. James Cruz. Thank you so much for joining me this fine Sunday morning. Thank you so much for being here at Mosaic. Leave with love and blessed be.